Good Tuesday night, everybody. Welcome. Welcome indeed. Tonight we're at Homestead, Miami, Florida, getting ready to figure out who is going to win the series from these guys at GUNR4SR. That's guys under NASCAR rules for sim racing. Oh, that's a mouthful. Joining me as always, my good buddy Rick. Rick, how you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, happy Thursday, brother. I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here tonight with you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Getting ready to watch some championship running. We've got 4 guys going for it this week, and this is it, man. This is the last race for these guys, and we're hoping for a good one. But the 4 names that you gotta watch out for, because truly, all the points have been reset. Don't worry about what's behind. That's all blah. But we've got David Camara, Todd Cray, Eric Shear, and Jordan Tansel. Those 4 drivers are going for a championship run here tonight, and we're here in Homestead, Miami, Florida to watch it happen, Rick.
Yeah, we definitely are, Chris, and it looks warm out there. These guys are cruising around this track, man. It's going to be slippery. It's going to be fun. We're in cup cars, something that we haven't done yet in a while. So it's going to be exciting to see these high horsepower machines take it around Miami Homestead. And like you said, we're crowning a champion tonight, brother.
Yes, we are. All right, Rick. Hey, I think we probably better talk to some of these drivers that are going for a championship.
All right, let's see here. Let's start with Eric. We will bring Eric, number 22, down here. Hey, Eric, you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing fabulous, brother. Listen, it's the final race of the season. You're one of the final 4. What are your thoughts out there tonight?
Well, whatever happens here tonight, we had a great season. We came into this year trying to get to the championship 4 and be one of the best 4 drivers in the league here. We feel we've done that. Probably don't have the raw speed some of these other guys do, so we'll kind of have to shake up some strategy or something and try to make something happen tonight, try to get the championship. But just glad to be here. It's been a great season. These guys have been racing hard all year, and for sure we got the best 4 guys out here tonight. It should be a good show for the fans out there.
Well, that's excellent, brother. I mean, right now it looks like you turned a couple of practice laps sitting there with a 31.710. Do you have any certain plans that you don't mind giving out, or are you just going to go out there and just do the best you can?
I usually just kind of play it by ear. All depends on if it goes green or we get a caution or how the car's feeling, all that. We try not to come in with some sort of strategy just because you get thrown for a loop most of the time out here. So just kind of feel it out here, see how the race goes, how we're doing as far as the rest of the championship guys. See if we need to roll the dice, so to speak. But just kind of play it by ear here as the race goes along.
All right, excellent, brother. The track's going to be slick. It's going to be, it's warm out there. The track's really warm, 106 degrees last time I looked. So take your time, and I wish you all the luck that you need tonight.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
All right. That's driver of the number 22 tonight, Eric Shear, in line for a championship. And certainly we wish him the best of luck. And it looks like we have, go ahead, Rick.
No, go ahead. I just did one.
Nope, I'm out. I'm doing something else right now.
All right, David, you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, brother. Here it is, the championship race, the final race of your guys' season. How you feeling out there?
I'm feeling pretty confident. The Clocks by Christopher Chevrolet is running pretty good. I've run a couple of races here over the weekend, and I'm feeling pretty good. Jordan Tansel's the one to beat, but I've been watching him here in practice, and I think I've got something for him for the old man.
Well, that's excellent, brother. Right now you're sitting pretty in practice times. You're 3rd place right now with a 31.477, so you're not too far away from Jordan. So, any big plans for tonight, man? You just going to kind of hang back, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I tend to hang back. I tend not to go right up to the front. I'm kind of a tire saver kind of guy, and I think that may prove out to be beneficial here. We'll see. I mean, they got a 4 league has been a joy to run all year, and looking forward to it next year and probably do the sponsorship again. So.
Well, excellent, brother. Hey, listen, we wish you luck out there. It's going to be hot. It's going to be slippery. But I know you're going to be able to get it done. So take your time. Just get through the field and try to have fun, man. It's the last race of the season.
Yep. Thanks.
You're welcome. Good luck, Dave.
And that was driver of the 72, David Camara. And, yeah, he's looking to get it on tonight. Looks like we've got 2 more left. And Rick's typing away.
We are going to, I'm looking for Jordan. I'm not seeing him in here. That's our second place, gentlemen.
Jordan Tensel, I don't see him. We'll have to check in on him in a little bit. Let's get Todd Cray in here. Todd Cray, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy.
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Right on, brother. Hey, listen, you're going for a championship run tonight. Looks like you guys are setting up for a little pit party. What are your thoughts going into tonight's race?
Basically, you just got to keep the nose clean. Come out here, try to be consistent. We're not the fastest we've ever been, so we got a little work to do during the race, depending on how the cautions fly, or you know, not make any mistakes on pit road, and just see how the race plays out.
Right on. Now, you've been practicing for a little bit here. The track temperature is pretty warm. That leads me to believe you're going to have some pretty slick conditions out there. Have you been noticing that?
Yeah, especially early on. I like to try to find the high line here, which I'm not finding much grip up there yet. So, you know, going to have to fight that looseness on the bottom, and hopefully we can come up and get some grip a little later in the run and try to save some of these tires. It's hard to say. Too early to tell.
Right on. Have you been able to determine what kind of, how many laps you can run on a set of tires before they start going away on you?
For me, it seems to happen pretty quick. But once this race starts, I'm going to try to conserve them tires and try to do the best I can. But, you know, I mean, once I get to 15, 20 laps, I'm really feeling it. So just have to try to make adjustments on the fly here. And like I said, just see how the cautions fly and try to make the right move.
All right. Hey, listen, man, good luck tonight. And thank you guys for letting us broadcast your championship run tonight. Really appreciate it, and you have a good run.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. And that was Todd Cray, driver of the number 21. We're still trying to figure out if Jordan Tensel is in TeamSpeak. And maybe in just a little bit, Rick will hop up and ask them about it. But let's bring it up again, because these are the 4 drivers, David Camara, Todd Cray, Eric Shearer, and Jordan Tensel, that are running for the championship here tonight. And they have got a battle because, listen, that track is warm. Those cars are going to get slippery. Accidents happen. Now, we were told that these guys are having a habit of running green flag races. And that may or may not be the case. Listen, it's all about the track.
Well, the track, like they said, man, it's warm, it's slick. Tires are going to go away pretty quick. And, you know, as we were just talking with the 21 machine of Todd, you know, he likes to run that high line, but he's just not finding that grip right there. As we're watching practice, he goes into the wall there. So it's going to be real interesting to see, Chris. I mean, we're going to start out, it's going to be hot. I'm looking at the info now. It is confirmed that the track is at 106 degrees. The air temperature is at 78, so flip and slide tonight, my friend.
Yes, and look who's just joining us. We're going to bring him down right now. That's Jordan Tensel, and that's driver of the number 63 car. Jordan Tensel, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, bud. Like the other 3, unfortunately, I'm saving you for last, mostly because I got one extra question to ask you, but like the other 3, you're battling the track tonight. It's going to be hot and slippery. What are your thoughts going into tonight's race?
Man, it's just one of those things where it's going to have to race the racetrack and not race competition and try to save the right rear on this track. And a little tight in the center on a long run, but other than that, just kind of play it by ear, really.
So you're finding it a little tight center out, is that what you're saying?
It's normally like in the center, and then once you like exit towards the top of the racetrack, it gets a little loose off. Just kind of depends on how you drive it, really.
Right. So throttle control is your best friend here tonight?
Oh yeah, I got eggs under my pedal tonight.
Right on. All right. So I've said your name about 8 times, but I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Is it Jordan Tensel?
It's Jordan Tansel, yeah.
Oh, Tansel. Okay, I was trying too hard. I should have made it easier on myself.
Oh, you're good.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate you guys asking us to come out here on MSTV tonight, and we're going to be doing our very best to get to know you in one night and show off this league of A cars. Man, I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I hope you are too.
Yes, sir. I'm a little nervous, but that's all part of it.
I hear you, man. Now, listen, you were in a different channel before. Do you want me to put you back there?
Yeah, yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir. You got it. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yep, you too.
All right. That was driver of the 63, Jordan Tensel, and right now he's actually scored the best lap in practice at a 31.424. Man, that's moving. That is moving, Chris.
You know, the times are kind of close. You know, you got Brad Lane there in the 10 machine. He's got a 31.437. Down a little further, you got the 72, David Camara, who's got a 31.477. So they're right there. And but that is a heck of a lap. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody can catch that 63 tonight.
Yeah, and the other side of that, and we haven't mentioned it yet, really. Let's take a look at this. The air temperature is 78 degrees. Track temp, you've mentioned it, it's 106. We've got 115 laps. It's 172.5 miles. Tire window somewhere between 15 and 25. Really kind of depends on your driving style. I've been told the fuel window, right around 36 to 38 on a normal run. And of course, pit speed 50 miles an hour. Man, it's Homestead. We're definitely getting ready for this one. I can't wait, man. This is some of my favorite stuff right here. Championship runs. I love it.
A-cars. Love it.
Yeah, like you said, we haven't really done a lot on the A-car since we started up with MSTV, but we're no stranger to them, Rick.
No, we're not a stranger, but it's just been a while, so it's kind of nice to see what I would like to call the big boys out there running, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, we're going to wrap up here just for the rest of practice. We'll be back for qualifying. Got a couple of things we got to take care of, including the beautiful Star Spangled Banner. Guys, we will be right back here on MSTV. Thanks very much for coming out. It's Championship Run here in Miami.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the Paravolca. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the Paravolca. That's beautifully done there. Makashuba, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Let's take a look at a couple of things. I want to take a look at the round of 16. Now, this is how we've kind of gotten to tonight, Rick, and you can see it, man. These guys, when they take people away, they take them away in the force. It's awesome. Round of 16, round of 12, round of 8, and finally we get down to the same 4 gentlemen we've talked to already tonight: David Camara, Todd Cray, Eric Shearer, and Jordan Tensel. So it's been a long season for them, and they're getting ready to go. And just like that, boom, we have the top 4. There they are. They're we call them mug shots. And man, again, we really appreciate them reaching out here to MaxSpeedTV and letting us do this broadcast. I look forward to it. We got drivers out in the pits, drinking Coors, texting. I don't know what else, but man, oh man, that Coors car, he was moving around pretty good right there.
Well, that he was, Chris. And one thing that we want to mention too, the series is sponsored by Clocks by Christopher. So word has it on the street that somebody might be going home with a clock tonight.
That's right. Clocks by Christopher, and the championship driver does go home with a clock, and I think that's pretty cool, man. Really, that's something I haven't seen before in iRacing, and I probably wouldn't mind driving in this series just for a chance at it myself.
Oh, that's the cool thing, man. I mean, we've seen, trophies, we've seen posters, we've seen, rings, but never a clock. I mean, that goes back to like Martinsville type kind of stuff, I mean, everybody wants to win at Martinsville to win the grandfather clock. Well, here they are tonight. They're racing for that clock, and that's pretty cool. You're right.
And the only one of the top 4 still out on track, just testing away, Jordan Tensel in that number 63. As we've got 47 seconds left to practice, he's bringing it down. He says, that's enough, I'm good. So he's bringing it down pit road. And Rick, every now and again, I see this guy that's up in my crawler. On the top right-hand side. He's being scored in last place. I don't know who that guy is, Rick Hammond. Do you?
Yeah, that was my mistake tonight, guys. I came in as a driver. I was a little busy there with the family. We're having dinner and everything. And I was like, I gotta broadcast the race. So I came down. Unfortunately, I'm used to being in last place, and I'm praying that I don't take somebody's spot tonight. But so you're gonna see that. That's normally where I sit. So I'm not gonna win a clock, but I want to apologize to these guys here for that. And it looks like the warm-up is done, Chris. We're going to be going into qualifying.
Yeah, we are getting set, ready to go for qualifying right now. Just a couple of cars out there, and poof, they're gone, just like that. That's the wonderful thing about sim racing. Poof, you have a new car. Poof, you're off the track. Poof, you're on the track. I love it. And it definitely keeps the excitement going. I want to throw out a quick shout out. Everybody out there who's watching this, who doesn't normally watch MaxSpeedTV, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. If you could, we've got open qualifying. Interesting. if you could, make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. It helps us out as a channel, and it lets us be out here for you guys when you want us to be able to do things like we are tonight. We're going to go on board Jordan Tensel. He was the fast car in practice. We're expecting to see a pretty good qualifying time here. We're going to bring this up, and we're going to watch these guys go. The National Guard, number 63, looking good on track. You see there's a little bit of bumps right there on that high lane. You can see the suspension giving away.
That's a beautiful old gray Ghost scheme too, Chris. I love that car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nice looking cars out here tonight.
The 63, one and done. He says that's it. 31-415. I'll keep it. Eric Shearer being scored fourth. So it's interesting qualifying right here. This is really weird. Not weird, just not something I'm used to. We'll go on board David Camara. And as he said, he is the sponsor of the series. Clocks by Christopher Carr. You know what? That's a pretty sharp looking car. I like that color scheme. Like a lot.
Yeah, those colors. I'm writing down notes right now, buddy. That car is the colors. They work. That is a beautiful car. You might see that in Victory Lane tonight, bud.
It's very possible. On board right now, Randy Collins in the 27. A Monster Energy. Ooh, into the wall hard. Look at the damage to that front end. He hits the escape button. He's gone. On board now with Eric Essery in the 37. The Lego Machine.
As you saw right there, Chris, car getting a little squirrely as going into those corners and coming out of them. That's something that we're going to want to watch tonight with this track being so warm.
Yeah, and the other thing we haven't really emphasized enough, I don't think, is just how big this track is. 1.5 miles long, and it's definitely wide enough to run 3. So I don't think you want to. I think you'd lose some serious momentum if you're in the wrong lane. But it's wide enough, and that could come into play at the end of this run. Pretty decent banking in the corners. You got between 18 and 20 degrees. The straights are pretty even, about 3 degrees. So, you know, we always have a little bit of banking to kind of fill out on. That's good. Pick up the 27 machine as he finishes qualifying lap, or one of many, I suppose. Looks like we have 1 minute left of qualifying. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I call it 5 because the 77 don't count. 5 drivers yet to qualify.
But that is a good number, and it might count next season. I might say that.
Eric Shearer sitting on pit road. David Camara sitting on pit road in that 72. Jordan Tensel on track. And Todd Cray also sitting on pit road. So the top 4 drivers so far have qualified in the top 7 positions. And that's not a bad place to be at the start of this one, I don't believe. as we are at the end of qualifying. We're getting ready to go to the green flag start of this race. And okay, now we're getting ready. Now it's time to start. Just waiting for it to kick on over. The waiting is the hardest part.
It is, Chris, but one thing that I'm lucky, I'm able to actually see the race chatter right now, and everyone's congratulating everybody. Everyone's saying good luck. That is an awesome thing to see. These guys really respect each other. We're in for a good race tonight, buddy.
Yeah, I think so. You know, again, when you do these one-offs, it's one thing because you don't really know the drivers yet, and you got to get to know the drivers and their traits. But you know, I've been talking to Eric, and we both have. We've been talking to Eric, and one of the things that he kind of seemed to stress is just how clean these guys are, and I can't wait for that to happen here on track. We're still waiting for the grid, so we've got black screen, and we know it, but it's coming. It's coming.
All I know is it wasn't me this time. I messed up joining the race as a driver, but...
Right, we're just waiting for these cars to grid up so that we can get back on track here. And Rick's telling me that he is seeing drivers, so we may have a technical difficulty here. Let's see if we can get it back. Yeah. All right, just like that. Gave myself a heart attack, but we are back. And Rick, who do you have on pole? Is it Jordan?
Yeah, it is Jordan in the 63.
All right. Not actually showing any cars yet, and that's a little...
Give it a second, because I wonder what it is. It's because maybe I joined as a driver, so I can't obviously grid? Maybe?
Maybe.
We've never done... I don't know. I was in the wrong spot tonight in iRacing, I guess. Obviously. But there they go. They are starting to go, Chris.
Yeah, I've got a issue because my telemetry is showing that they're moving, and I am not seeing a single car on track. This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Rick, maybe you could just let's see what happens here.
Have you made sure that you're on the live?
Here we go. Okay. I don't know what was going on, but it seems to be better, and that means we're going to get ready to go. We'll go through the grid real quick here. Starting on the pole, Jordan Tensel, David Camara on the outside in the 72. Nigel Standish starting third, Randy Collins fourth, Todd Cray fifth, Brennan Cutting running in sixth place, Eric Shearer seventh, Patrick Desaliner. And you know what? We're gonna have to come back because just like that, man, this thing is going green flag racing.
It is, Chris. You know, this track, like we were talking earlier in the broadcast, you know, it's a mile and a half. It is a good sized track, but it goes by quick.
These cars are definitely coming up to speed as we get ready to go. Turns 3 and 4 with the 63 car. Behind him just a little bit. David Camara also running for that championship. Todd Cray, third place in the 21. Nigel Standish, that Miller Lite number 9, sitting in fourth place right now, Rick. And Randy Collins Brennan Cutting and Eric Shearer still mired back in the traffic. He is sitting in 7th place, and that's where the action's happening right now. It's right behind him. We'll get to the 13 car. He's going for a pass on the 93 on the inside. Ooh.
That was a good move right there, Chris.
So we're back right now on the 22, Eric Shearer, currently running in 7th. He is definitely taking the high line. He's got the 27, Randy Collins. And from the 13, Daniel Carter takes an aggressive move to the inside. Daniel Carter is fighting for position. He wants 7th place. Eric Shearer is not looking to give it up as he battles back on the outside. Daniel Carter to the inside, gives a little bit of pressure. They're now door to door coming out of 4. Eric Shearer able to maintain position as they cross the start-finish line. Shearer was able to get by him, and Carter relegates himself back just to 8th place, but he's not done with the battle yet. Shearer looks like he's changing his line, going down a little bit, trying to block and maybe get by the 27. Shearer with an aggressive move down. Eric Shearer takes the low line. The 13 kind of has him pinned as the 13 would be like in the 2nd lane, Rick, and that is a battle.
I think Shearer did the right thing, Chris. Looks like Randy Collins on that 27 machine, a little too close to the wall there, and Eric saw that, so he was able to adjust his line. He did lose a little bit of momentum, but, you know, we're only lap 6 of 115, so we got plenty of time, you know, as it looks like Daniel Carter there in the 13 is going to make that pass, and now he's working on the 27, but I think that was some smart driving on Eric's. He's in the chase, and he wants to win, so you got to keep that car clean.
Oh, he's in the chase, and it's only a lap 6. And that 13 car, Daniel Carter, he is driving lights out right now as he's moved himself up to 6th place. Getting around Randy Collins in the 27. My goodness. Back a little further, we've got the 93. That's Patrick. Lord Patrick, I'm going to kill your name. And I'm French-Canadian, too.
Desaltner?
Desaltner, I'll go with it. Right behind him, I keep picking the hard ones. Adam Mosteoka.
One car I've been watching, Chris, is that number 10. Mr. Lane, he's been doing a really good job, but that car is a beautiful car, man. I mean, all these cars are beautiful, but that one, I've never seen a paint job that good.
The Exalta number 10, and that is sharp. You said you were taking notes, make sure.
I'm not at that caliber yet.
We pick up the 29 Mountain Dew. That's Reggie Packard, currently running in 15th position. Last car on the lead lap. Last car in the field. We've got a couple of Exalted cars out there. As the 35, Jason Mullis is driving around in the, we'll call it the Jeff Gordon colors. David Hain in the 82, the Haviland Camaro. Running in 13th right now. We've talked about him already. Brad Lane running in 12th. Adam Montellerica. Man, I just feel like I'm saying it wrong, but maybe it's all right. He's driving the 74 car. He's up to 11th, doing well. Randy Collins, driver of the 27 machine. He's top 10 car in 10th position. A Red Bull. Patrick is, man, I'm gonna stumble all over that tonight. Well, that's a Camaro.
That it is, Chris.
Eric Essery. Eric is driving the 37 machine. There's a lot of Camaros out in this field tonight, and Eric is driving one of them. But you know what? I knew I liked Eric. Eric's driving the Ford, a Napa Auto Parts number 22, back up to 7th, so he was able to make some positions. Daniel Carter, we talked about him just a little bit ago, having a really good early run, and he seems to have leveled off a little bit in that 13. Brennan Cutting Brennan in the 97 Coors Light machine, running in 5th, under pressure right now by the 13. Daniel Carter looking for position, and Carter may have it on the inside. He's been making that inside work early today.
He really has, Chris. Carter in the 13 machine qualified in 13th place. He's being scored in 6th right now, and he is just on a tear up through this field.
Yeah, Brennan Cunning able to get back in front of him, but for how long? That's the question. As you see, it gets a little tight right there in the 97 machine. And that allows Carter to get back up on his rear bumper. Right in front of them, we got Nigel Standish. And you see a gap closing right now. The 97, Brandon Cunning, catching up a little bit. Nigel Standish and the number 9 running for Todd Cray. He's one of those drivers running for championship. Right now, doing a pretty good job of it, running in 3rd place in that 21 machine. David Camaro, we've talked about him. He is definitely doing a good job here tonight. Crocs by Christopher Carr. And the number 72 running in 2nd. And that leads us right back to 1st place. Jordan Tensel. And man, that car is looking like it's running on a rail here tonight.
Oh, it definitely is, Chris. I mean, he's got a good little lead there from David in that 72 machine. It's not huge. And I'm sure what these guys are doing, I mean, the tires are obviously, we're lap 14 and 115. It's been green flag. There's been a lot of hard racing. Got to start worrying about fuel, your tires going away, the slickness of the track, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But right now, he's sitting, I'm trying to find my, there we go. Sitting about 9, almost a second behind Jordan there.
Yeah, right now, we've talked about him a couple of times. The driver of the 13, Daniel Carter, now up to 4th place is Carter. That's pretty good. He started 13th, up to 4th, 15 laps in. Yeah, he's moving. Check in. Brad Lane, driver of the number 10. He's under pressure by Jason Mullis in the 35. Mullis to the inside. The 10 has momentum. Going onto the backstretch. The 10 has some momentum to retake position. No problem there. Brad Lane starts to open up just a little bit of a gap and loses it right in the corner. Jason Mullis won't go away.
The battle of the Exalted cars. And it looks like Mullis might be able to pull it off. He does at the line, Chris. He retakes 9th, but he's still under pressure from that 10.
10 car looking to battle back on the outside. Not able to do it. The 35 takes a line. Jason Mullis takes position number 9, sends Brad Lane to top 10 territory in 10th place. Check in on Eric Shearer sitting in 7th place. He's got the 93 car right behind him, but I think he's just kind of taking it easy. You know, we talked about this before the race started, not on TeamSpeak, but he did mention that he was probably going to take it a little easy. His tires, he didn't like them when they got past about lap 20 or so. So we're getting close to that right now. And of course, it's a little different when you're under race car condition, or racing green conditions rather. It's 18 laps of 115. That's pretty close to 20, Rick.
It definitely is, Chris. And actually, we do have a driver that is in the pits. That's not me. Nigel Standish in that 9 machine. He is sitting there. I believe he might have tapped the wall there.
Yeah, I thought I heard a driver hit the wall, and he's been in for a while because he's 3 laps down already. And these guys haven't slowed down that much, to be honest with you. Looks like David Camara has taken over the lead. And Jordan Tensel is back down to 3rd as Todd Cray came around him as well. They've only lost about 2 seconds a lap, which sounds like a lot, but honestly, on this hard track, 1.5 miles long, you know, 20 laps, these tires are getting worn.
Yeah, they definitely are. These cars, I've been watching a couple of them, Chris, they're just slipping and sliding as they go into the banking of the turns. And I mean, it's almost close to that time. I mean, we were told somewhere in the 30 lap range, or 34-ish, somewhere around there. These guys have been running hard. They've been battling hard. So these tires have definitely taken a beating. Their fuel's probably getting low. So I think we're going to be seeing some green flag pit stops here shortly.
Yeah, Camaro was able to hit about 181, 182, somewhere in there on the last straightaway. We'll take a look and see what he's able to do here. But, yeah, maybe the race pace has slowed down a little bit. 190, though, on that backstretch, man. That's moving.
It definitely is for Homestead. But right now, your championship 4, we got David Camara, who's taking, or is in first place right now. He came into tonight's race in 3rd in points. You got Todd Cray in that number 21 machine. He's sitting in 2nd. He came in as the points, or as the first person to get that position. Jordan Tenzel in the 63. He came in, he was 2nd. He's running 3rd right now. And Eric Shear in the 22 machines. He's just been happy, man. He's just been sitting around that 7th, 5th, 6th, and 7th spot. He's really taking care of his gear, but he's got a little bit of pressure right now by Jason Mullis in that number 35, Chris.
Yeah, Mullis to the inside, kind of late into a run. Lap 22 of 115. Mullis to the inside, and Shear may just let him go here. He's not looking to battle too hard at this point. And there it is. Yeah, Mullis gets around Shear, and like I said, I think that was probably just Shear going, you know what? Go ahead. I'm okay right now. I'll sit here. We got pit stops and stuff coming around the corner. That might shake things up a little bit.
Now, I don't get to say this too often, Chris, but these guys at Gunner for SR Racing, they're putting on a better show than the NASCAR guys, man. I mean, clean driving, they were absolutely right. I mean, it's still early in the race, I know. But, man, these guys, I can't even honestly tell that I'm watching iRacing right now. These guys are doing a fantastic job tonight.
Well, I think the thing to understand is, and every once in a while you get a group of guys together and it happens, but there's not a single person on this track tonight, I don't believe, that came in here going, you know what, I'm going to win this on turn 1, lap 1, and that's the end of the story. I don't believe that for a second, not with the driving that we've seen. Very respectful when they're around each other. Not a lot of shaking of the cars when they're side by side. These guys know how to hold the line, and it shows.
It definitely does, Chris. I want to definitely tip my hat off to these guys. They're doing a fantastic job. I want to thank everybody out there in YouTube land who is watching tonight. We appreciate every moment that you are watching with us. Time is something that you can't make any more of, so we appreciate you watching out there tonight, watching these guys put on a heck of a show. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button.
Take a look in on Jordan Tenzel. Jordan had led 16 laps, right now running in 4th place in that 63 car. And David Camara, David has actually led 9 laps right now. He's sitting in 1st place, looking to lead another. He started on the outside pole, so it's not like he had a long way to go, but for a little while there, the 63 had about a second to a second and a half lead.
Now, I'm not sure exactly what it was, Chris, but I'm watching Tenzel right now in that 63 machine. He was just wiggling a little bit. He's slowed way down. He's about 146, 48. Well, he's still climbing. He's coming out of the corners at about 160 miles per hour, but he is going so, yeah, his tires are gone.
Yeah, and I think that he is kind of outside of his comfort zone too, as he was talking about 18, 19 laps, and he was feeling the tires going away. So with 28 laps down, he's definitely out of that comfort zone. Meanwhile, Camara just out there pacing it like he owns it. Todd Craig's keeping a respectful 9/10 of a second distance between him and the leader. And man, this is interesting. We've got a couple of guys that have come down pit road. Nigel Standish, he's been down pit road for 6 laps now, so his car must have been heavily damaged. Brandon Cutting, driver of the 97 car, also on pit road for a long time now, 3 laps. David Hain, driver of the 82, down a lap on pit road, less than a minute, but you know, maybe a little attrition starting to take place here.
I'm looking at Cutting's car. It looks like a modified. The front end is totally gone on that car, Chris.
He definitely got into something if it's looking that bad. Meanwhile, David Camara up front, happily 9/10 of a second lead, right where it's been. Him and Todd Cray kind of looking to drive away with it. Now, let me ask you a question, Rick. If you're the title sponsor of a series and you win the series, what do you do with the prize?
I think he's going to get a bigger clock, to be honest with you. He might have to make room for the grandfather clock.
You know, maybe, just maybe, he could send one on out to the broadcast team. That'd be all right.
I can tell you right now, Chris, that 2019 Camaro looks sharp out there. He's doing a good job. He's just taking his time. He doesn't have a lot of pressure by Todd Cray there in the 21 machine, who is about 1.06 seconds behind the leader, and it is closing a little bit there, but not much. But these guys, they're just running their race, doing what they have to do. We're on lap 31, soon to be 32 of 115. So I would have to think that they would be coming in for a pit stop soon. I know I've said it before, but just watching how some of these guys are slowing down in the corners, their cars are a little squirrely. Obviously, their arms are full of that steering wheel right now, but they're doing a heck of a job. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Michelle checking in, grounding. Who was it? I'm not going to tell you Brandon Cutting was the driver of the Coors Light machine tonight, and maybe he was texting while he should have been driving. It's all right, though. Since it's Sim, we won't send the police after him tonight. Listen, we got some other cars coming down pit road, so pit stops are starting to happen. This is what's going to shake up the field here. Meanwhile, David Camara out there on his own. Todd Cray behind him, just putting down laps, lap after lap. Camara now has 16 laps led. Him and Tenslow are tied for laps led. On board now, the third place runner of Eric Essery. And Eric's been just kind of chugging along too. No pit stop for him yet. The 37 machine doing what he needs to do for a nice top 3 finish. Brad Lean looks like he's coming down pit road in the 10 car. So
and David Camara also came in, Chris.
Yeah, the 93 Patrick Daisel. I'm gonna go
with Patrick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Patrick. That's a good call. I like that. So David Camara down pit road. Todd Cray picks up the lead. We'll see how long he stays out there on those old tires. Looks like he's going to stay out for at least one lap. Cray in the 21. Your race leader, Eric Essery, out there. No pit stop yet for either one of those drivers, nor has Randy Collins, Adam Monteoca, or 5th place runner Reggie Packard. Those 5 drivers have not come down pit road yet, so choosing to stay out on older tires, that may come back to bite them if we stay green, Rick.
It definitely could. I mean, this is the scary time. I mean, these guys have 35 laps of green flag racing, Chris. Guys are starting to filter into the pit stops, getting those fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco racing fuel. But this is when things could really happen. If you get in a caution, which we're hoping doesn't happen, that could set you back a little bit.
Yeah, that could actually change the outcome of this race, considering no cautions yet, man. This has been unreal so far. Like I said, 0 cautions, no caution laps. We've got 80 laps to go and only 2 lead changes. I'm sure that's going to change as these pit stops start cycling through.
And now it looks like only 4 cars have not taken those pit stops yet.
Now we've got another one peeling off, coming out of pit road, rather. So peeling on, I guess. So Todd Cray out on the track, not wanting to give up the lead. That's consistency right there, Luke. You know, when you have that, that's consistency. And good on Eric for fighting his way into the top 4. That's awesome. Daniel Carter, driver of the 13, gets his lap back the old-fashioned way. He earned it. He goes around Todd Cray. And now you see the difference between new tires and old tires as the 13 car walked right around him, no problem at all. And now the 72 machine, David Camara, right behind him. David Camara goes around Todd Cray, and every lap Todd is out there, he's losing precious seconds as these guys on new tires are motoring.
I just got word over the radio, Chris, the 97 of Brendan Cutting has blown up, so he's sitting in the pits right now for a repair. That's unfortunate for him tonight.
Yeah, that usually means about a half an hour worth of repair, and I'm afraid that that's going to do it for Brendan Cutting tonight in the 97 machine. Right now, your top three drivers have not come down pit road. Todd Cray, Randy Collins, Adam Monteoca, all on track. And just as I say that, Todd Cray peels off. He's coming down pit road.
He's finally had enough, Chris, after 40 laps. What an outstanding run.
That is an incredible run, not only for fuel, but to be able to hold on to that car with the tires as old as they were. Unbelievable. And here we are, the 27 Monster Energy machine now is going to pick up the lead as he crosses the start-finish line. We have a new leader, and his name is Randy Collins, driving that 27. So many times, Luke, it comes down to strategy. You've got pit strategy, tire strategy, when to pit, when to stay out. There's so much to think about. These guys are doing a fabulous job getting it done here. And the 27 says, okay, I led my lap. I'm coming on down.
One guy who's been on the move, Chris, as these pit stops are cycled through, Daniel Carter in that number 13 machine. No matter where I was on the track, I saw him blowing by everybody with those fresh tires, dude. It was fabulous, and it looks like he might be able to, I think. Yeah, he's going to lead the race.
Yeah, Daniel Carter leads the last lap, and I'll tell you, at the start of this race, there was nobody making bigger moves than him. Daniel Carter, he started 13th, Rick. He's now in the lead. Right behind him, David Camara in the 72. He's the first car fighting for a championship after Carter. Jordan Tensel in the 63 is right behind, though. And look who's moved up to fourth place. Pit strategy, pit strategy, pit strategy. It's Eric Shearer.
Now, I've been following along with David Camara in that 72, Chris. He was about 0.6 of a second behind. Now he's only 2. He is closing that gap on that number 13 machine quick. He wants to reclaim that top spot once again.
David Camara in the 72, looking on the inside of the 13 car. Not enough momentum to get it done there, but he dives down again. 13 goes down as well. We've said it before, we'll say it again. It's one thing to catch a driver, Rick, but it's an entirely different thing to pass him. And right now, David Camara's got to try and figure out a line that's going to do that the best. And you know what? He's got to do it without hurting the tires.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, Chris. He doesn't want to push too hard. I mean, they're fresh right now. So everybody feels like Superman when they're out there with fresh tires because you can make that car do pretty much whatever you want it to do. But if you do it too hard, you're going to wear those tires and it's going to hurt in the long run, which we've already seen. We're on lap 45 of 115. No cautions yet. So, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, even if he comes in second right now, I would think that he'd be the champion. So, push it too hard. The problem is Jordan Tensel is right there in the 63. He's not far back. Too far back. Trying to find. There we go. He's got about 8 seconds, so he's got a little work to do. But
we've got
those guys keep
racing. Rick. David Camara in the 72 up front, got a slight advantage on the 13. The 13 battling back on the outside, may not have it this time. His line had to change because the 72 is there, and the 72 takes advantage. David Camara back out front in the 72, clocks by Christopher Camaro.
What an outstanding race for the lead, Chris. Mr. Cutting, you have one of them Coors Lights for me too, if you would, please. Sorry your night didn't turn out the way that you wanted it, my friend.
The 72 car, David Camara up front, and he's starting to put a little bit of distance between him and Daniel Carter, about 0.5 of a second now. We saw that a little bit earlier, Rick, where Daniel had about 10 laps where he was just absolutely the fastest car on track at the start of this race, and then he started falling back a little bit and then starting to maintain. So I wonder if we're seeing the same thing out of him. You know, good short run driving, and then it's, you know, all about maintaining.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right, Chris. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, obviously everybody that came out tonight the race wants to win the race, but there's 4 drivers out there that are going for a championship. So these guys are really racing really hard. They're doing what they have to do, but I think you're right. I think what they do is they do what they have to do to try to get some track position, and then they might back off just a little bit, just to kind of save the tires, save some fuel for that long run that they know that's going to happen. I mean, we're at lap 48 of 115, 49 of 115. So, you know, it's one of those hard things. Do I want to try to win the race and don't care about my tires and fuel, or do we want to just kind of get the best track position that we can and then lay back and wait for that cycling of the I totally had a brain fart there, but of the green flag pit stops there. So
yeah, we look back a little bit. The driver of the 37 car, Eric Essery, in 9th place. He's battling out with Patrick in the 93. He's going down to the inside. May have a run here, and he does. The 93 kind of backs off, lets him go. Knows he's the faster driver right now. Very nice racing right there. Aware of his situation. Look, he's still a top 10. No need to battle more than that right now. It's still less than halfway through this race.
One thing that made me lose my concentration there, Chris, I was watching the 74 Adam Monstioka, and that 74 machine, he was taking on the number 13, and they were in a good battle there for a second. But he is 1 lap down, so he's just working to try to get his lap back right now.
Yeah,
he's actually the first car in a lap down.
Yeah, he has about 10 laps fresher tires does Adam Monstioka in that 74, and certainly it's showing out on track. As you see, the 13 car nowhere in sight right now. Brandon Cutting, excuse me, the 13 car. Wow, Daniel Carter not even in picture. We're going to check in on the 27. That's Randy Collins. Now, Randy was running kind of towards the front there, and he has some of the freshest tires on track. Only 9 laps old, his tires, so he should be moving pretty quick, and he is.
He is, Chris. He's doing what he's got to do there. In the beginning of the race, he qualified 4th, and I swear I saw him either get into the wall a little bit, because he did lose a little momentum, but he might have kept it off the wall. It was kind of hard to tell. I didn't really hear any scraping or anything like that, but he really lost a lot of momentum, and he fell kind of back. But then once he did that, that's kind of where he stayed right now. So he's being scored in 11th place right now.
You know, Rick, this thing has the feel of a nice long green run. And you know what I really like about green runs?
I think you like to crank it up.
Why, I sure do. And here we go. oh man, there's nothing I like better than hearing the roar of over 700 horsepower going by, Rick. Woo! Man, that feels good.
It most certainly does, Chris. That is mighty, mighty awesome right there. So just give a little update on the Championship 4 here. So David Camara is sitting in first position right now. We have Todd Cray in the 21 machine is in third. Eric Shear is on the 22 machine. He is fourth right now. Jordan Tenzel is sitting in fifth. So those guys are right there in the top five, Chris.
Yeah, and the battle that we've been seeing is not so much with the cars so far. It's been with the track. How many laps can you go on a tank of fuel, and how long do you dare to stay out on those tires, Rick? Because, man, you start seeing these cars wiggle just a little bit, and you hold your breath hoping they come out of it, man. This is incredible.
Well, this is where it's going to get interesting. So the next, I think they came in right around 40, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lap 40 when most of them came by and down pit road, although some a little sooner, obviously, some a little later. And so we're on lap, gonna go on 60 now, so about halfway through a tire run, and really it's fuel. I mean, these guys aren't coming in for tires, no way.
No, I don't believe they are, Chris. I mean, the cars are a little squirrely out there on the older tires. I mean, the track temperature is so warm. At the beginning of the race, it was 106. Right now, it's still staying at 106. So, it's putting a lot of beating on those tires, and these guys are slipping and sliding around. But what's going to be interesting to see who goes in first.
Yeah, we just saw 35 car Jason Mullis get around the 29 of the 29 car. That's Reggie Packard. Reggie Packard is showing a lap down right now. He is the third car, one lap down, and then here he comes, and we got some cars coming down pit road, including Eric Shear giving up fourth spot.
So that's what I was kind of wondering. I wanted to know who the first one was going to be. Now, this could be very smart.
Yeah, taking a short pit, you're going to have really fresh tires, and you're also breaking up, if you do the math, you're breaking up the rest of this race with one more pit stop, Rick.
Exactly. But this is setting that whole stage up for what these guys are going to be doing on that last pit stop.
Yeah, this is the setup. So, okay, knowing that right now, we know that we're going to have 2 pit stops in this race. So how long do you stay out on those old tires, and you're giving up so much time on them? You really can't afford to do it for very long. And right now, David Camara's got to be thinking, okay, do I come in next lap? And then when he goes by the pit lane, he goes, okay, do I come in the next lap? How long does he want to go?
Exactly. Jordan Tenzel in that number 63, he came in, Chris. He's got that first pit stall. He just slid right in there. He's getting his 4 tires and fresh Sunoco fuel, and he's going to be rejoining. So there's another one of the Championship 4 that came in.
Tick-tock goes the laps. Tick-tock clocks by Christopher. 72 car David Camara still out front, and right now he's led 34 laps, Rick.
When we talked to him, Chris, what I got from him was cool, calm, and collective. He was just kind of, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to do what I got to do. And he's doing it, man. I mean, this is just fabulous.
And don't look now, but back in second position, Todd Cray in the 21. And I'll tell you, at one point, I noticed that there was an 8+ second deficit to the leader. And right now, 5.9, Todd Cray on the move on those old tires.
Now, I was watching Todd Cray the last cycle of pit stops, Chris. His car, and he's doing some fabulous driving, keeping that Camaro underneath him, because that car will slip and slide, but he just does what he has to do, the fine throttle control, the light steering, and he just gets through and does what he has to do.
Yeah, meanwhile, sitting in third place, the 10 car, that's Brad Lane, and he's got to be thinking the same thing. Look, man, I've made myself third position. This is awesome. When do I come down pit road?
Well, that's the question that everybody wants right now. I mean, everyone's starting to come in here. We got 5 cars on the lead lap right now. So everybody else is coming for fresh tires, full fuel. Here comes the number 63 right now, right around Todd Cray. So he's working on his lap back.
Yeah, we just saw the 10 car go around the 37. So Brad Lane up to third, Eric Esserly at fourth. We're watching this track from the grandstand view just to kind of get a sense of how big it really is. 1.5 miles. It's a big track. You got to slow down pretty good for the corners, but man, you get on those straightaways and you mash that pedal through the floor, try and find every single horsepower under the hood.
No, you're absolutely right, Chris. When I drove in the A Series NIS, this track, it was a big track, but it also, like you just said, it drives almost like a short track because you really have to get off the throttle, get on the brake a little bit to make these corners, and it doesn't drive like a normal 1.5 miler, I don't think.
No, it is a little bit different. And let's see, day-night transitions. All I can say to that is #soon. I think we've been saying that for about 3 years here on the sim. And the damage model, same thing, #soon. Although some cars are a little bit better now than, especially when I first started, man. When I first started, holy cow.
Rewide action. Wow. Sorry about that, Chris. No. Right on the edge of my seat there.
Just give me a number.
We had the 10, the 37, and the 35. Looks like the 37 right now of Eric Esserly is going around the number 10 of Brad Lane. Possibly. No, he snuck in back behind. He didn't have the momentum needed to make that pass.
Let's take a look at the leader right now. David Camara's got a 6.383 second lead over Todd Cray in the 21. David Camara has 35 lap tires, and he is still reeling the heck out of that car. His last lap, a 33.750. Todd Cray's last lap, a 33.952. And at those speeds, you're gaining, you're expanding the interval. So Dave Camara absolutely showing off as a long-run driver, although, just as I say that, he says, okay, 36 laps on a set, that's good, I'm coming down pit road. And
Craig also, yeah, he came down too. He was like, you know what, this is enough. He came in just a lap before Mr. Camara came in, so this is going to get interesting. Revving his engine, and Todd Cray is out of his pit stall.
Okay, so Cray's on his way back on track. Meanwhile, we're on the number 10 car, Brad Lane. Brad Lane, your new race leader, and he's doing it with 37 lap tires. Man, these guys are not afraid of putting some rubber down on the track before they come down pit road, Rick.
No, they're definitely not, Chris. It's outstanding to see, too. Usually we see cars, once they start getting a little squirrely, guys will start coming in. It looks like Brad Lane's coming into the pit road now, Chris, for his fresh set of tires. And I'm sure they're going to be very welcomed.
Yeah, and that puts the 37 car on the bubble. Eric Esserly out there on the magic number, it seems, 34 lap old tires. Eric Esserly leads that lap. So we're going to take a quick peek here. Zero caution laps. We've got 44 laps to go. We've had 5 lead changes, not a single yellow flag to be seen. The flag man must be bored out of his mind. He's like, what flag should I pull? Never mind. I'll just go for a hot dog.
I think that's exactly what I would be doing, Chris. These guys are putting on one heck of a show out here tonight. It is going to be Duke, you're right. Duke D Sim or Luke D Sim Racing. I'm sorry about that. My glasses are smudged. It is going to be a very last rung. And what's going to be interesting is we haven't seen guys out there, so I don't know what the fuel's going to be like. That's going to be the scary part. They might need one more.
Boy, that could be a heartbreaker, because some of these guys out there right now, they're Eric Esserly, 35 laps on his tires, so he's probably good for another 5 laps or so. That'd put him to lap 79. If you can get to lap 79, that's not that long of a run to 115.
The Simulated Gamer. you run in the league. Do you guys have 100% fuel? Or do you run at like 75, 50%?
Oh, we have a car. Almost lost it, man. He gathered it back up. Holy cow. I don't know how he saved that. That thing was sideways. And that was the 82 car. David Hayne had me right on the edge of my seat. And you know the problem with that? I pay for the whole thing.
All right, Chris, so they are running 75% fuel.
Okay, so 75% fuel. I'm going to stick with it. I don't know that they're going to have to pit again. Now, they may have to clutch in the corners a little bit, save a little bit of fuel, maybe get some drafting going on. And I'll tell you, right now, Eric Essery, he's still out there. He's still leading this one. If everybody else does have to pit, he may win just on strategy alone, Rick.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's going to get interesting to see, Chris. Right now, the guys that are in here for the playoff, for the Final Four, David Camara, he's sitting in third right now. Todd Cray is right behind him in fourth. Eric Shear in the 22 machine, he is in 8th place right now. Jordan Tanzel, he's the one that really took a hit, Chris. He is 1 lap down, scored in 10th place right now.
Yeah, Jordan Tanzel not having the run that he was looking for in that 63. And oh, he's getting really loose. Oh. Jordan Tanzel goes around. Commentator curse in effect. Tanzel on track. Able to get off track. Get that thing righted. He should be able to come out on track without causing a caution flag. Jordan Tanzel went around 180 degrees. And we saw the whole thing. The back end of that car got real loose. Tried to save it, not quite able to. I believe he's going to come down pit road wanting some new tires. Holy cow. Eric Esserly, I think he might have seen what was going on and says, you know what, my tires are older than his. I'm coming down pit road, and here he comes.
I know Jordan's tires weren't that old, Chris. He came down in that, that pit stop there last cycle. And he got them, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. Maybe just going a little too hard there as he parks it into that first pit. We'll see what happens here.
Well, the big thing that's happened here, Rick, the 13 car Daniel Carter has taken over the lead. And he's got David Camara behind him by 7.5 seconds right now. So the 13 car, no sponsors on board, looking to maybe try and steal one here tonight.
He's been on the move all night long, Chris. That is definitely, and it looks like Jordan Tanzel, he has disconnected, unfortunately. So what I'm hearing from Luke in chat is that Jordan was the defending champion coming into this race because he won last year. So that is unfortunate to see that number 63 go off.
Yeah, that's, you never want to see somebody fighting for the championship. He qualified so well. He was the fastest guy in practice. And to go around like that, and it was kind of out of nowhere. He kind of got loose, like I said. His tires weren't that old, so you have to believe maybe he got on the gas just a little harder than he wanted to, caused that wiggle, tried to collect it, couldn't do it. And Rick Hammond Jr. is 80 laps down.
That's usually normal. That's okay. Hey, usually it's not that bad, but pretty close, depending on what kind of tracks we're racing on.
So Daniel Carter, the 13 car, he's got the lead, but it's going the wrong way. Right now, down to 5.75 seconds, back to the second place runner, and that's David Camara. He is right now, if the race were to end, he would be your points champion. So David Camara doing what he needs to do, staying ahead of the 21 car. You see there's not a big gap back to him, but Todd Cray running in third, also in the battle for that championship. Eric Shear currently running in 5th place. We've seen him. He started in 7th. He had worked his way up into the top 5. Now still in the top 5, but in 5th, Eric Shear. Eric must have had a great season this year, as last year he wasn't in the championship hunt at this time. from what I learned in chat earlier. Here he is. You know, he's one of the guys, one of 3 remaining that can actually take the championship here tonight, Rick.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Chris. Right now, David Camara, his best friend, is number 37 of Eric Estery. He's there, and actually he just made the pass, so I guess not. I was going to say, he was the car in between those two. So this is going to get really interesting to see how this goes.
Well, this actually could work, because the 37 being in front of him, Eric Estery in front of David Camara. Hey, look, David just got a drafting partner.
He most certainly did.
And with about 9 laps newer, it's not going to last long. Eric Estery already out of the shot. Back in the corners, but yeah, Camara is not going to be able to keep up with those fresh tires.
Now, I'm sure what's going through these drivers' heads, Chris, just like what was announced in chat there. These guys are probably just holding back just a little bit, trying to save what they possibly can for that final run. So this is where it's going to get really fun and interesting. Because these guys, you know, I mean, they've been out there for a while. They had fresh tires, but those tires, I'm sure, are starting to, you know, get a little slick. And so they're going to be backing off. It sounds like they have plenty of fuel to make it to the end. The big thing is going to be tires.
Tires, tires, tires.
You love tires. I know you do.
Lap 86 of 115, low shot. Listen, right now, Carter's doing everything he can, but with 10 lap newer tires, David Camara is absolutely taking a huge bite out of that gap. Down to 2.76 seconds, and man, it's closing still. Todd Cray about a second behind the 72 right now, and that gap is remaining pretty solid at what, 1.4 or so. So the 21 doing what he needs to do. If he truly likes the long run, I believe firmly that we're going to have that here, as these guys are just refusing to have a caution flag tonight.
Now Carter has the drafting help, Chris.
Not for very long. As you see, a 13 had to slow way down in that corner. That car is tight right now on those older tires. Luke, you're absolutely right, bud. If he is a long runner, that's fine, but you still got to catch back up and get past the race leader. That is truly a big feat to have here tonight. And that gap right now back from David Camara to third place Todd Cray, 1.666 seconds, and I don't see it shrinking right now. Want to send a special shout out and another thanks to Clocks by Christopher for putting this one on. He is the title sponsor of this series tonight, and I believe all season. And man, I gotta find a website or something, because I've seen a little bit of what he's done. I wouldn't mind taking a look at some of the other stuff. I like nice clocks. I can't help myself.
Oh, that's a definite, Chris. I mean, it was beautiful what we saw. These guys at Gunners for SR, they're doing a fabulous job. No, we have a bet already. My money is on Todd. All right, we're gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna make a note of it right now.
Right now, the man on the move, David Camara. David has dropped that lead to less than a second, and he is closing in fast. David Camara doing everything he can to try and retake the lead of this one. Meanwhile, Todd Cray, the interval down to 1.266 seconds, because David Camara coming down pit road. The 72 says, "I'd like some new tires, please."
Now this is where it's going to get very, very interesting, Chris.
Oh, unbelievable. David Camara only had 19 laps on those tires. Todd Cray had 20. Well, he has 21 now. Camara decides, I need some new tires. I want to do this one on a fresh set. And he's sitting on pit road right now doing just that. And as I say that, the 13, Daniel Carter, coming down pit road. Maybe there is going to be one more stop. I don't believe for a second it's fuel. David Camara in pit road. He's been there for 14 seconds on stop. 15.5 seconds. That's 4 tires and whatever fuel could fit in the tank. So Todd Cray, by everybody pitting in front of him, the first and second place car, Todd Cray now takes the lead. Todd Cray, he's led 9 laps here tonight and looking for more, but no, he's coming down.
Nope,
pit
he's
road
coming
as well.
in too.
Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting any of that. Not even a little. So by virtue of Todd Cray coming down pit road, it looks like the 10 car of Brad Lean's going to pick up the lead here. Eric Essery in the 37 is probably going to be second. His tire's 13 laps old, so Eric Essery's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. I don't believe Brad Lean's going to be able to make it on tires, as we're on lap 93 of 115. Let's see, quick math, blah, blah, blah. Yep, there's a lot of laps left.
My eyes right now, Chris, are on the number 22 of Eric Scheer. I want to see what he does there on that Napa Ford Fusion that he's running.
Yeah, Eric Scheer went down pit road about 2 laps ago, and he is moving fine right now. Almost matching his best lap of the entire race right there. Eric Scheer with a 32.2, and he is moving that 22 around this track. The battle is going to be David Camara in the 72, Todd Cray in the 51 right now. Those are the top guys, maybe not on the scoreboard, but those are the guys we're paying attention to here tonight as they are fighting it out for a championship run. And right now the gap back about 2.76 seconds. David Camara able to get a little bit of time by having 2 lap fresher tires than Todd Cray.
And just to answer the question in the chat, so David Camara came out. He is sitting in 4th right now. Todd Cray is sitting in 5th. Yeah, because these cars just sound beautiful going around this track.
Yeah, Rick, they really do. And, you know, 20 laps to go on this one, and I think we're not even close to deciding a victor yet, really. Got Daniel Carter out there in the 13. His tire, ooh, a little wiggle out of that 13. He's trying to drive that thing right through the wall. He's pushing that pedal hard as Carter almost got into the wall. Able to stay off, though. Currently running in 3rd. We've seen it tonight. For about the first 10 laps or so, that car is so fast. But David Camara right behind him, 1.5 seconds, and he is moving too.
Yeah, he definitely is, Chris. That's what I've been watching here. It won't take him long to catch up to where he needs to be. But again, we still have quite a few laps left, so you don't really want to race too hard right now, just because you don't want to burn those tires off. Because if the guy that's behind you, you know, Todd's down there and he's just doing what he has to do, you know, hitting his marks, taking it a little easy, he's going to have some tires to go for a run at the end.
Yeah, this race is definitely not decided yet with 18 to go. David Camara has a 1.5 second gap to close to catch Daniel Carter, and Todd Cray right now 2 seconds behind Camara. And if we keep an eye on that right now, so it drops down to about 1.88. Looks like Cray comes out of the corner pretty decent there and actually does gain a little bit of time, a 1/10 of a lap or a 1/10 of a second per lap. If that pace continues, he will not catch David Camara, so he's got to find some more speed out of that vehicle.
I want to go back up front, Chris, to look at Brad Lane. He's doing a good job in that 10. He's got a lap car that's, you know, he's just doing what he's got to do. The 29 of Reggie Packer. We haven't talked much about him tonight. He's 3 laps down right now. But that number 10 Exalta paint, man, that is just beautiful.
Yeah, Brad Lane out front, showing everybody the way around this track. His tire's 28 laps old. 16 laps to go. I mean, hey, people have driven further tonight, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. The lap back to second place, Eric Essery, 4.766 seconds. Then it's third place runner, the 13 car, Daniel Carter, again running in third. David Camara in the 72, doing everything he can to block that championship run down here tonight. Running in fourth place, 1.15 seconds ahead of Todd Cray, looking to pick up speed as he is starting to catch Camara. I'm going to do something I don't normally do. We're going to take a look through the Goodyear blimp and see that distance on track. Camara hitting the corner, and then Cray. Both drivers running similar lanes, although it looks like Camara did start coming up the track just a little bit sooner. Maybe a slight push out of that 72 car versus the 21 of Todd Cray. And Camara does have the 82, the lap car of David Hayne just in front of him. He'll move up, looking to try and grab a little bit of that draft, and then scoots down to the bottom for the pass. All the while, Todd Cray catching inch by inch, tenth by tenth, the 21 car trying to catch the back bumper of the 72 as we've got 13 laps to go of this one, right?
We do, Chris, and those laps are taking off quick. And you know, I was kind of worried there as David Camara in that 72 machine was racing the lap car a little bit. I mean, when it's this close to the end of the race, you want to get by him as fast as you possibly can to send it down to the next guy. And like you said, that allowed Todd to really put a big hurting on that gap that he had.
Yeah, right now, 0.816 as they go out of turn 2 down the backstretch. Not much of a change there, 0.883. And right now it looks like Todd really catching him on the corners just a little bit in the 21. So a little bit more aggressive coming in, I think, maybe a little bit less aggressive coming out, because that gap seems to shoot back up just a little bit as they come out of the corner. And getting exciting. Man, I haven't sat in the whole seat since this thing started. Right now, I've only got about an inch under my rear as this thing is getting close to the end with 11 laps to go. Brad Lane in the 10. He's got 33 lap bolt tires on there. And Daniel Carter in the 13 is down to a 1.318 second gap to first place. David Camara is in third. He's 1.9 seconds behind Carter. And Todd Cray has closed the gap to 0.6 of a second. Guys, this is the championship, and we are on 10 laps to go.
And the thing that's really going to be the big issue here, Chris, is lap traffic, as we're getting into a bunch of it here between David Camara and Todd Cray. They're just doing what they have to do. But this is where a lot of things can change.
Yeah, so far so good on the lap traffic, kind of diving out of the way, trying to stay out of the way, staying out of the preferred lane, it looks like. So good on them to let these guys battle it out for the championship. Meanwhile, up front still, the 13 has taken over the lead. Daniel Carter has the lead, and he's got a 5-second gap back to Brad Lane. With 8 laps to go, that could have been the pass for the win. And I'm definitely getting excited, Rick. I'm tripping over my tongue.
There's so many things that are going on. I mean, obviously we really want to, keep an eye out on the championship 4, but also the guys that are here to win the race. I mean, and I just want to put this out, Chris, on record for the admins and the owners of this league, coming from just me, who's just a normal guy and a normal broadcaster. I want to tell you that you have a fantastic league here. You have a bunch of fantastic drivers. The amount of respect that I've seen on this track It's not something that we see tons. And I'm not saying there's a lot of bad leagues out there, but this is one of the best races. Ooh, David Camara got really loose there, Chris. I almost fell out of my chair. But really, you guys are doing a fabulous job.
Camara looking to put one car between him and Todd Cray. It's the 10 car, Brad Lane. Brad Lane looking to try and finish out a top 3 run and not able to do it. Todd Cray gets by him on the outside. Brad Lane moved down for him. Very nice driving. He moved down. Todd Cray able to get around. So it's Carter, Camara, and Cray, your top 3.
Looking back on the 22, Eric Shear, he's just sitting there in 7th, Chris, doing what he has to do. Not the night that he wanted, but hey, listen, a big congrats out to Eric for making it into the 4. You still got a little bit of time, buddy.
6 laps to go. Anything can happen.
David Camara moves up into 2nd position, Chris, but Todd Cray is right there.
We see the gap right there. It's only 0.6 of a second, but it's been 0.6 of a second for the last couple of laps. Did Todd Cray use up his tires trying to catch Camara? We've got 5 laps, make it 4 to figure this one out.
You know, Chris, I'm sure these guys, their hearts have been pumping coming into this race, taking that green flag, going through practice, going through qualifying, getting through this race, a fabulous race, 100, you know, caution free. I mean, that's just amazing. And that's just a testament to what these guys do for driving. But right now, there's 2 guys that I know the anxiety's high, the blood pressure's high. You know, wow.
Daniel Carter in the 13 car. I've talked about him a few times tonight. On the short runs, has been one of the fastest cars out there. Usually he starts giving it up about midway through a run. Does he have enough to stay out front? David Camara and Todd Cray getting ready to battle it out. This is for the championship. There's storylines all over this track right now, and it's getting tough to keep up. The gap back to Cray, 0.433 seconds right now, and it is, oh man, it's getting tight. It's closing up just a little bit. Todd Cray looks like he got a little tight there, out to the outside wall, loses about 1/10 of a second with that move. Definitely not what he wants to do. Is it's now 0.549.
And he's only got 2 laps left to get back up there, Chris.
Two laps to go. Can Daniel Carter hold on to the race win here tonight? Can David Camara hold on to 2nd place and then the championship? We're going to figure it out here really, really fast. 1 lap to go. We go to the race leader, Daniel Carter in the 13, looking for the next flag. The first one that dropped was the green. The last one will be the checkered. Daniel Carter in the 13, looking to take this one home. He has led 25 laps so far. Will a 26th one make him the race winner here tonight?
Starting from the 13th position, Chris, worked his way up very quickly through the field, was there all night long, and it looks like he's going to be taking the checkers tonight.
Checkered flag, your race winner, Daniel Carter. David Camara comes home 2nd place. Todd Cray 3rd. Woo, baby, that was a good race. David Camara in the 72 car, your series champion. Carter ended up taking the race win. Todd Cray ended up in 3rd in that 21 car. Stay tuned, everybody. We are going to set up for some post-race fun and interviews. Man, that was a good one, but I gotta take a quick break. I gotta find something to drink. I've been talking for a long time. lordy, that was fun, and we are just about done here in Miami. And the 13 car, you think he's happy about winning this one? Holy cow. He is burning the house down still.
Whatever tires he had left, Chris, he just left them on the track.
Unbelievable. All right, so let's get to it here. It looks like, oh man, I hate to say it, Daniel Carter not in TeamSpeak. Well, I think we're gonna bring in, let's bring in third place Todd Cray. Todd Cray, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yep, got you guys.
Hey man, it was a fine run, a heck of a battle at the end. We weren't sure if you were going to be able to reach David and pass him or reach him at all, and it turns out you were about 0.4 of a second from getting to his back bumper. But hey, you took second place in the points, you took third place in the race. Overall, you got to be pretty happy.
Yeah. I mean, what an awesome race. I think really cost me early on is making that first run a little too long, and lost about 13 seconds there, and it was trying to slowly make it up, and just running that cart a little too hard. But hey, great run by Dave, and clocks by Christopher, the sponsor. I mean, what a run for him, and what a great finish for the series here.
Well, listen, brother, I mean, we watched you. This was a very, very exciting race. You guys did a heck of a job. Congratulations to you. I know that you won the came in first, but you did it, man. I mean, you came in, you know, you did what you had to do, and you ran a really good race, so be proud of that. You made it to the championship 4, so that's nothing to scoff about. So congratulations. Is there anybody out there you want to thank, brother?
Just Gunner Racing and Eric, and for putting on a great league here. I always look forward to these races, and a lot of clean drivers, a lot of give and take when necessary, a lot of respect. So again, clocks by Christopher for sponsoring the series, and we'll grow from this and come back next season and try to win it.
That is awesome, man. Congratulations again to the number 21 Todd Cray, bringing it home in third place tonight. That was an awesome run. And speaking of awesome runs, there's nobody else left to talk to except for the driver of the number 72 clocks by Christopher Chevrolet, David Camara. And David, congratulations first on your second place finish, but man, even bigger than that, let's add a title to your name. David Camara, series champion. How you feeling, bud?
Yeah, I never would have guessed. The old man showed the youngins how to do it, I guess. I put a lot of work into this race, more than I usually do. You know, I usually run top 3, top 4, top 5, somewhere in there, but you know, against Todd and Jordan, because Jordan hit the wall early, and Jordan ran away with this race last year, and we all figured he'd do the same thing this year. And you know, I was behind him when he hit the wall, and I saw that happen, and I thought, okay, well, now it's up to me and Todd. And I don't know, I played a little bit of a different pit strategy than Todd, and I think that got me in the front, got me ahead of him, and I don't think he could ever catch me again. So I'm more than happy. I just can't really believe it.
So I posed a question earlier on, and it was kind of a joke, but maybe not. You are the title sponsor of this series, right?
That's correct.
What do you do with the prize?
Todd will get the clock. I give a Mantle a wall clock for the championship trophy. He'll get the clock, and I'll just take the first place trophy.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Hey, aside from clocks by Christopher, the whole thing that makes this thing run, who else out there would you like to thank?
Eric, you know, for putting this thing on all year and doing all the emails and you know, he just does a great job, and Randy also is the other kind of owner admin of the league. So you know, they all do a great job. So all the guys that run Gunner, you know, and you know, I'm still I I'm the old guy of the group. I'm 70 years old, and I just didn't dream I'd win this championship. This is just super.
I'm sure.
I mean, the competition here is extreme. It didn't show it tonight, really, but Todd, Jordan, Daniel Carter's always quick. There was another guy that wasn't here tonight. Can't think of his name now. My old brain won't let it come up. We all run really competitive races here. There's 4 or 5 or 6 of us that are usually right there, and I was happy I was just in the top 4. I thought it was a possibility, and I want to say I never dreamed of it. You know, I came in somewhat confident because of the work I'd put in on the track, but still, I didn't think I'd beat those guys.
Well, you did, my friend. You did an outstanding job. Like I was saying, I'm sure it hasn't really fully set in yet. It will later. Congratulations. It was a blast. Chris and I are honored to be here broadcasting your guys' final race. We're happy for you. Congratulations, champ. Take it on the next season, buddy.
All right, and thanks for doing the broadcast. And you guys ought to, you know, I don't know what you have for openings for next year, but you ought to consider, you know, it's a good league, and we run a lot of races without a whole bunch of yellows. So we'll do some recruiting over the winter. We usually run 12 to 15 cars, though. You know, a lot of guys didn't show up tonight. You know how it gets the end of the year.
Yeah, always tough at the end of the year to keep interest going. But man, oh man, you've got my interest. Like I said during the broadcast, you know, I pay for the whole seat. I was only using about an inch of it tonight. I was on the absolute edge watching that racing. It was clean, it was fun, and thank you again, David. It was a blast.
Well, thank you guys.
All right, that's your series champion, David Carrera, man, driving that 72 car right up to the top of the standings, and there's only one guy left to talk to, and that is the league owner, series admin, and we gotta say congratulations to him, man. It's been a long season. Driver of the number 22 car, Eric Shearer. Eric, this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. You and I, we've talked a couple of times, and you said, you know, these guys, they're pretty clean. And yeah, okay. How about green flag, checkered flag, and that's it. Eric, you got to be proud of what this league has been doing for you, and you got to be proud of your series champion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think one of us mentioned, one of the guys on TeamSpeak mentioned that this is like a 3rd race to finish out the season that went caution free. I think the last 2 weeks went caution free too. So says a lot about the guys that race with us. You know, they want to run clean. They don't want to make much contact. If they have an issue, they try and pull it off track, not cause a trigger yellow, something like that. So, but yeah, congrats to David there. He's our series sponsor too. But no, he ran a hell of a race. I was not expecting the speed he did have, especially on the long run. He was able to just keep track with Todd there. It was a lot of fun. I was kind of farther in the back, but I was watching the relative, and they were running pretty close together there at the end.
Well, it was just an outstanding race, bud. And from Chris and I, thank you for allowing us to broadcast this race. Like Chris said, be proud of what you have. Outstanding league. The amount of respect that I saw on the track, fabulous. The racing was fabulous. So congratulations. Continued on to next season.
Appreciate you guys broadcasting it for us.
Oh, it was definitely our pleasure, Eric. Thank you. And I just want to do a quick recap here, guys. We had 0 caution flags. We literally dropped a flag twice, once at the very start, once at the very end. We had 9 lead changes. David Carrera comes home as your series champion. He led 42 laps tonight. Carter led 26, Tencel 16, Lane 14. We had Cray, who led 10 laps, and Esri, who led 7. Rick, that was awesome, and man, oh man, I would love to watch this one over. In fact, I think I will.
I definitely will be, Chris. I mean, this was a fantastic race. Brian France, or Steve, whatever your name is, from Vermont, the new president of NASCAR, guys need drivers to substitute, these are the guys to look for, because it was just a fabulous amount of racing, Chris. The amount, as we said, the amount of respect on the track, everything was just great about it, man. And I'm finally able to sit back in my seat for once.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, listen, everybody out there in chat land, thank you very much for being interactive with us tonight. We really do appreciate it. And I'm glad you got to see a really, really good race. And make sure you tune in every night here on MaxSpeedTV. We run something every night. So if you haven't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure to check us out here on MaxSpeedTV. Have a great, great Thanksgiving. Stay safe, everybody. And good night from Rick and Chris. We'll see you on the other side.